Hello and welcome back to the Douyu Dota 2 Cup here on HeflaTV 1. Game number 2 of a two-game series between Newbee.Y and Energy Pacemaker. Energy Pacemaker have almost secured themselves their top 3 slot inside the tournament and the right to pick their opponent when it comes down to the actual playoffs and the two-game elimination bracket. So we'll just have to see how they perform here. They're going to start things off with the Winter Wyvern, Dazzle, and Newbee.Y first pick the Lishrak. I'm Grenetsv, and once again, I'm going to be joined by Kefka. Welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Bond Hunter banned in less than half a second, which is pretty understandable from Newbee.Y considering how last game went. It was pretty much Bond Hunter's track doing all the work, giving the goal to Ember and DK. I think was the key to the victory, and that's why they banned it so fast.
Yeah, and also to the supports, it was incredible how much money the Disruptor, the Gyrocopter, and the Bounty all were able to get. It gave them so many utility items. There were like 2 4-staffs, you had the Guardian Greaves up for the Gyro. It was definitely deserving of the first stage ban. As far as their next pick, for Newbee.Y is concerned, they're going to snag the Lion. After the first draft, I'm honestly a little bit surprised that Earthshaker gets first ban, though. It was almost completely ignored.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising he was banned here, but it's more surprising he wasn't touched last game, pretty much.
Yeah, I think so.
But some new heroes here, Lion. I'm not sure if he was even banned last game, but he wasn't picked at least. And Winter Wyvern was banned last game, 4th, I think, and first picked here from Energy Pacemaker. So they have 2 very defensive supports already.
Yeah, and it's going to be very difficult to kill any of Energy Pacemaker's cores, and they're going to pick up the Shadow Fiend. I think it's a reasonable course of action. Shadow Fiend does a lot of damage even without having items, and he farms so very quickly that he's going to be almost impossible to kill. Presumably after getting Mech BKB, from there on out, Energy Pacemaker could afford to get a lot of damage items on those Shadow Fiends since he has a Dazzle Winter Wyvern behind him. The weaknesses of Dazzle Winter Wyvern, however, they're not that good at roaming around and getting kills, but reacting to ganks, they're probably some of the best.
Yeah. Winter Wyvern is pretty strong hero here, I think. It depends on Lion's positioning. Leshrac damage is not that high when it comes to the countering of Cold Embrace, because it's not that much burst, so you can kind of sustain through it. But Lion's ultimate could completely own that spell, but the disrupting phase is going very fast. Axe picked up also. Axe hasn't been touched at all, I think, not even banned today.
And I'm not sure how I feel about the X here. Against the Winter Wyvern and the Dazzle, it's going to be a difficult game for him. It's nice that they have ways to deal with the Shallow Grave and kill somebody whenever they get Cold Embraced, but honestly, I think that the biggest attractive bit about Axe is his Culling Blade, and maybe that could have been replaced with like an Ancient Apparition that we saw earlier, but yeah, we'll just have to see. It's a hero that's completely fallen out of favor, and I'm not sure if he should be picked as little as he is now. I think he deserves his spot, but probably not in the 3rd pick.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising. I guess they just want to have something to do with Dazzle Grave, but he has to get a blink pretty early. If he gets an early blink, the heroes of Energy Pacemaker are very squishy. Shadow Fiend gets tanky when he gets his mech, but before that he can get killed very fast by Axe, also with the Lion Finger to ensure the kill.
Yeah, it could be very, very scary. If they do get off to an early start, Newbee.Y's aggressive potential is there. If you can get blinks on the Lion and the Axe, that's the golden scenario. And if Lion doesn't die this game, with just the reliable setup coming out from a blink deck from the Axe, he probably will find it at a reasonable timing. As long as they don't pick up a super greedy secondary support. For Energy Pacemaker now, where do you think they're going to take this pick? They're still lacking an offlaner and another core, but I think they'll probably pick up the offlane here.
Yeah, the offlaners have been banned, Druxer and Clockwork mainly, also Tusk always banned, but Spearbreaker was he touched last game? I don't think he was even banned, and he has been quite popular in this tournament so far, and I would be surprised if Energy Pacemaker does not pick him up, to be honest.
Lion does give you that instant stun to cancel out the Spiritbreaker's charge, but I think the benefits of having the Spiritbreaker, especially to roam and kill off the Lishrak in mid, outweigh the disadvantages. But instead, it's going to be a Beastmaster. Energy Pacemaker have picked up a very interesting lineup in general. They have a lot of armor going for their side. And this Beastmaster is going to be pretty annoying in the laning stage. It depends on what the next support is. Newbee.Y looks like they're going to throw the X to the off lane as is kind of expected and pick up a Storm Spirit as their safe lane farmer. Or maybe they should be safe lane farming the Lesh. But either way, the Storm and the Lesh is going to be their dual core.
Yeah, I think this Beastmaster pick is very interesting. It's a hero I love to see, but he is really do or die. Sometimes he does amazing work, and sometimes he doesn't do anything because it's really hard to do anything when you're underfarmed. You can't really get into the fight and do a roar on a good target. But if you get farmed, you can be amazing. Necrobook is so strong together with roar. You can solo kill anyone, even as an offlaner. But Newbee.Y with the Storm Spirit is very strong against what Energy Pacemaker have right now. Orchid could pretty much ensure the kill on anyone.
And a lot of Beastmaster's performance comes down to how aggressive he can play in the lane, and how much he's left alone by the supports. In this game, I don't think he's going to be able to get that much. Lion is going to be able to constantly apply a certain amount of threat level to him, and ooh, Energy Pacemaker picking up the Huskar. Probable dual lanes coming out from them, Huskar Dazzle?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna... I think they're gonna put Beastmaster offlane and Huskar safe lane together with Dazzle. Yeah. And Io coming up out as well. I really think this Beastmaster should be offlane because I think he's gonna have a pretty good time. The heroes of Newbee.Y is pretty weak. With a double board, you can chase both Lion and Io pretty well, and they take a lot of damage from a level 3 Beastmaster with double board.
Okay, fair enough. We'll just have to wait and see how it works out for them. Personally, whenever I play Huskar, I like taking him to the mid lane, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how these lanes shake down. Old Chicken's going to be taking the Shadow Fiend, so it should be Shadow Fiend mid, and we'll just quickly run over our lineups. Energy Pacemaker on the Radiant side. Zhao Tulei is going to be handling the Beastmaster. He is their offlane player, and Ben is going to be playing their Huskar. The supporting duo of Lei on the Dazzle and Winter Wyvern, going to be played by 5400, will complete their draft. And for Newbee.Y, Axe going to be played by Iwi, the supporting duo Piao on the Lion, and the Io, who's already going very far away from the rest of his team, going towards that rune. Melody Lover's going to be playing on that hero, Leshrac handled by SCC, and Storm Spirit played by SS.
Yeah, I think this beast must have a very good time. Lion and Io are really weak zoners against especially Beast. With Lion not being able to handle the boars very well, he's 1 armor, and Io even worse with 0 armor. They take a lot of damage if the Beastmaster hits on early level 3 and has double boar. It's incredibly strong in lane actually.
In general, the Huskar of this game, I think he should have a pretty good time, with the exception being the fact that there is an Axe on the enemy team. It's really difficult to deal with an Axe if Huskar doesn't get a lot of early momentum. If the Axe has a Blink Dagger, can call on top of him, the spins do a lot of damage to Huskar, and Culling Blade is one of the best tools at killing him off when he's low.
Yeah, the only thing Newbee.Y has against Huskar is pretty much the Axe, and he has to perform in this game, otherwise it's gonna be so hard for Newbee.Y to deal with this Huskar. He can easily go and tear down everyone.
A little bit of lag right now, hopefully that doesn't stay the case. Let me just go ahead and quickly check that. If it gets any worse than it is now, we'll go ahead and look for a reconnect, but fingers crossed that we won't have to do that today. Up in the top lane, Beastmaster is going to try to pull away the creeps, and he does succeed in grabbing 2 with this boar. With it, he'll secure himself some guaranteed experience. Spike kills off the boar, gets CS for Piao, but that's about all that happens there.
Yeah, it's pretty good Lion used the spell to kill the boar. It's 60 gold. I mean, it's 30 gold and 60 experience. It's a lot for a support. If you manage to get the kills on the boar and the hawks, suddenly you have a lot of extra gold and XP, and you can easily get 6 way faster than the enemy supports. So you have to be very careful when you're playing Beastmaster to feed away. Because if you feed like 2 or 3 boars and hawks, that's like 1 level already.
Bottom lane, the Axe took so much harass. The combination of Arctic Burn and the Huskar Burning Spears was absolutely ridiculous. But the good news for the Axe is that Io's been preparing a couple of stacks that could in theory be taken by him, and I think for Newbee.Y's performance in this game, giving as much farm as possible to the Axe and getting the Blink Dagger as quickly as they can will serve them well. But another Arctic Burn, Axe might die. He gets the call onto the Winter Wyvern, and lucky enough for him, Huskar's too far away to contribute, but that was a close call. If Huskar was close enough to help out, that would have been a first blood.
Yeah, he's trying to get something, but The Creeper is pushing in and they're pulling pretty well, so it's gonna be a bit harder for him now. He hit level 2 though, he can go to jungle, he's gonna pick up a TP, he might already rotate to the jungle.
Yeah, we'll see how much experience he can soak from this pull, but yeah, I think that is the plan.
Yeah, he might not go on this way because the Creeper is gonna push a bit because it landed at the tower, but he's probably gonna go to his own jungle pretty soon, unless he gets some major experience here so he can stay.
He's gonna tank the creep wave, try to spin that down, but every time he goes up to the creeps, he's going to eat a lot of burning spears damage, slowed down by the cold effect by the Winter Wyvern. It might just be first blood here. It is a fairly low level Huskar, so it's only level 1 into the burning spears, but he's isolated inside the trees, and NB.Y is going to go down one way or another. They'll kill him off. Huskar getting the first blood.
Yeah, I think X is gonna abandon this lane and go jungle, unless Newbee.Y really prefers to not have X jungling and have Stormspirit taking that farm.
Tranquil Boots for the Huskar. Very interesting choice. The armor is really useful for Huskar. The 4 armor isn't to be underestimated, but ooh, up in top lane, Jiao Lei going to eat an Earth Spike and an Overload Charge from the Storm Spirit, but the follow-up damage isn't quite there. The Beastmaster is going to survive. But yeah, usually Huskars that I've seen just rush straight for the armlet. What are your thoughts on the Tranquil Boots this game?
It's okay. I haven't seen it before, but you want to have as much armor as possible on this hero because you don't take any magic damage when you're low. So if you have armor, you can survive pretty well. It's a bit weird, but it works, I think.
Yeah, personally, if you want a little bit more survivability, I like Treads a little bit better, but he doesn't necessarily need the attack speed from Treads, so I think it's a fine choice. If the Axe was playing more aggressively, I would like it a lot more. The sustain would help him, but since the Axe has gone completely into the woods, I think he could have gotten away with being more greedy. Speaking of that Axe, he farms up the medium stack, but now has dropped very low. He's going to need some help from the IO if he wants to go for any more.
Yeah, I think both offlaners are gonna get quite a lot of farm this game. Axe will just get farm because he's jungling, but this Beastmaster is being left pretty much alone up here, and I think it looks like he's gonna have a very good game.
Yeah, Jiao Lei's already level 4, has his Tranquil Boots up and running, and he has access to these jungle camps over on this side that Beastmaster can make quite good use of. This is mostly set up by the fact that Piao isn't there at all, and since the Lion now has a level disadvantage, things get very scary whenever he trades blows. Lion, although he has a good amount of range and poking harass damage, if the Beastmaster gets the boars onto him, the amount of physical damage is ridiculous and not something they can combat. They'll rotate up, they get the Earth Spike, but actually killing him off is very difficult unless you have a haste and Leshrac coming in, which they do. Even with it, they won't be able to go for that tower dive, just a Lightning Storm thrown.
Yeah, that's a lot of mana wasted and the time, and this Beastmaster Tranquil, it doesn't really matter to him at all. And if he hits 6 before Storm Spirit, I think he has a solo kill on the Storm Spirit, to be honest. Roar and double boar, and then if you have level 2 or something wild access, you can take down Storm Spirit pretty damn fast. And if he gets a kill early, I think he's gonna snowball completely out of control.
Yeah, it might just be one of those Beastmaster games where he goes off like a rocket. The Axe is not going to come down to this bottom lane anymore, so that's going to free up the Winter Wyvern and the Dazzle, but what can they actually do with this extra space? Maybe stack up a little bit for the Shadow Fiend, that's what Dazzle's currently doing. The Winter Wyvern will make sure that the Shadow Fiend doesn't die, maybe even turn around for SCC. The Split Earth will disengage. All they needed was a little bit more damage, and Old Chicken still could throw out a raise, but with the Eyes standing up, 5,400 and a lot of trouble will be called up, but with the Shallow Grave will live. And now Cold embraces himself up. One raise is going to land into NB.Y. He won't end up dying. And things will go back to the way they were. The defensive powers of these two supports is not to be underestimated.
Axe almost going down, but he gets out and he can just go back into jungle up the region up. But Lion level 3 right now. IO is level 3 as well. And Beastmaster is level 5 now. As soon as he hits 6, he can smoke up and get a solo kill if he wants. And if he manages to pull that off, it's gonna be a very good early game for EP. They're already having quite a good time. Huskar farming very well in his own in his safe lane. Dazzle stacking up some, not a lot yet, but mid lane Lion is gonna take a fall, I think.
Yeah, caught out, they'll secure that kill with the Winter Wyvern. 2-0 is the start for Energy Pacemaker. As far as Huskar's item build is concerned, though, I'm not sure if I'm completely sold. Tranquil Boots and Urn are nice items to have on Huskar, but it's going to delay his armlet. And the difference between Huskar with armlet and not armlet is night and day. I'm not sure if I like it that much.
This is really weird build from him, but I don't know. It seems like I'm gonna trust him, and maybe we'll see some amazing plays with this Urn.
Yeah, and it does let him sustain himself going for ganks. I think this just signals that Fan wants to play very aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. EP is having a really good time this early game, I think.
Ooh, I'm lagging a lot.
Oh, you are?
Okay, I'm gonna try reconnect.
Okay. Well, not much happening on lanes either way right now. Bismuth hits 6 though, but he doesn't have a smoke, so he can't do anything yet. And Lion is hiding deep in jungle. He's really scared of this Beast Monster. A lot of stacks from IO. They really want to take this. That's like 1,000 gold right there. And Beast Monster gonna rotate in mid. He's looking for a kill on the Leshrac here.
Oh, looks like I found a good server.
Nice.
Ha. We're back into this game. Beastmaster bumps into a couple of the enemy heroes, but looks like they didn't find any kills or find any good angles to go. At the moment, the IO for the side of the Dire and the Winter Wyvern for the Radiant makes it very difficult to go for kills on this mid lane.
Yeah, I would have really loved Beastmaster to buy smoke and smoke up right now, because he can solo kill both supports, maybe even find Axe low HP in the jungle.
He has vision with the Hawk, and I think Iwan might die either way. With the Tranquil Boots movement speed, he'll drop the Roar, and that's a dead Axe. A very important kill, even though the IO tries to come in. Not going to be in time. Beastmaster's now cut off with no mana, and a Zip into the Storm, a long ball in. They'll hex up the dog, but it doesn't matter. They'll kill him off just the same. Fairly even trade across the board.
Yeah, it was really important that they punished the Beastmaster for going for that Axe kill. Axe is not having a good start though. Or 8 minutes in, and he's not even close to the blink. He's only 300 gold. In general, you can even pick up the blink at this time if you had a good jungle time. And he kind of needs to have more impact. He needs to get more gold. And but Leshrac is gonna take this stack that's huge. That's at least 700 gold.
Honestly, I'd like to see them give this to the Axe. Even though the Beastmaster does give up more gold to the enemy team, I think it's probably worth it just delaying that blink as much as possible. Down bottom lane, the Huskar and the Dazzle will take down that tower. Now Huskar has enough gold to finish up his armlet, so Fan is primed and ready to go very aggressive in the enemy team at this point. Unless they chain all of their stuns perfectly and everybody's right-clicking him, it's going to be a very difficult kill. Axe just now gets his level 6.
Yeah, and together with Shadowfiend Illusion and also the Inner Beast from Beastmaster, they're gonna take this tower pretty easily. Even Huskar rotates, and it looks like Beast will go for the Necro Book with the Staff of Wizardry.
Fairly standard build for your Beastmasters, and a good one too. The attack speed Aura synergizes really well with his own, and oh, Roar, they catch up poor Axe. They'll slow him down, the follow-up damage isn't immediately there. They'll call onto the Huskar, pulling it back in as much as possible. Lightning Storm, Earth Spike, Split Earth. They'll drop them low, but the follow-up isn't there. Very early grave on Old Chicken, and Huskar is going in. He's gonna get hexed on the return trip, but he has armlet and should... No, he doesn't have his armlet delivered. It's on the courier. That's very unfortunate for him. Storm Spirit coming in from the sidelines, and Old Chicken's going to go down. They get the Axe, but they pay dearly for it with 4 of their heroes. If Huskar has armlet, I can understand them going for that dive, but that was way too overzealous.
Yeah, it was pretty greedy. It's similar to last game as well. They just started diving when they had an advantage, and then they just lost the advantage and gave it away pretty much. Now I DC'd as well.
Yeah, nobody is safe from Chinese servers. Hopefully you'll find a good connection. At the moment, it's definitely watchable. In fact, it's pretty darn good. Now that Huskar has his armlet, things will maybe speed up a little bit for Energy Pacemaker, but that gold swing was impressive in the last fight. What once was almost a 3,500 net worth lead for the Energy Pacemaker side and a 3,000 experience lead has half the net worth and completely zeroed out. In fact, given Newbee.Y a slight advantage. They kill the Axe and they delay his Blink Dagger, and that's all fine and good, but all of the other heroes are getting quite a lot of space. In fact, the line is not too far behind where the Axe's farm is.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that they dive like that when they already had the armlet, but it's not delivered yet. If he had the armlet, I think he would have killed everyone there.
Yeah, it's really scary. Even under tier 3s, you're not safe. But tier 1 tower in top lane, it's going to be pressured by Energy Pacemaker, even though they lose their lives diving into tier 3s. Going for a straight push is still possible, even after that lost fight.
Yeah, and I'm not managing to reconnect.
Well, there's not any fights brewing. It looks like Newbee.Y just want to farm up on their Axe until they can get the Blink Dagger, but it's going to come at the cost of a lot of map control. Tier 1 tower top has already fallen, and Old Chicken and Fan can put a lot of damage in this tier 2 if they don't react now. They'll glyph up their tier 2 tower, but they're not rotating any heroes yet. They'll TP back the Leshrac to the tier 3, and with a regeneration, the Leshrac can constantly spam them out. They'll drop the tower to about half. This could go very south for Energy Pacemaker. The Lightning Storm spam is going to start. Old Chicken's tagged by one of them. No initiation yet. Smoke up from the Axe line as well as the IO looking for a wraparound. The Beastmaster and the Winter Wyvern are there. It's a very dangerous situation for both teams. Fan is going to toggle his armlet off. He's going to be completely fine to those tower shots and will salve up. With the urn and the salves, Fan is 100% sustained, and he might just go. Tier 2 tower is dropping low. Fan is going to be split earthed up, and the tower's in deny range. Can Newbee.Y secure this deny? It looks like they will. Fan gonna toggle his armlet off with the battle hunger on him, and the Huskar will die. Zipping from the Storm Spirit, going deep under the enemy lines, relocate in, but the Winter Wyvern ultimately is going to stop that relocate from doing much of anything, but still, with the Finger of Death, they'll kill off Wyvern, and now with the call onto the Shadow Fiend, they'll rip him apart with the Culling Blade, and the Huskar even buys back. He can't join that fight, but he really wants to. Fan is itching to go, but they probably shouldn't. That was an unmitigated disaster for Energy Pacemaker. Usually, Battle Hunger isn't that relevant, but when you're dealing with an armlet toggling Huskar, it really is.
And I managed to get back into the game. The Huskar bought back there.
For
And
no real reason. He didn't join the fight again.
He lost a lot of gold there, I can see. He's he's 1k behind the Storm Spirit suddenly. He was pretty high up there. That costs a lot for them. They got a tower, which is okay, I guess, but they didn't really want to sacrifice all of that.
No, way too much to give, and now Axe is getting closer and closer to his towards his blink dagger. And once they have that, Newbee.Y's initiation is incredible. You have a relocate to follow up after jumping in with the Storm Spirit and the Axe from Fog. Energy Pacemaker might just find themselves with 5 enemy heroes on top of it.
Yeah, the fight shouldn't really be going this good without a blink on Axe.
Yeah.
It's I think EP are really scared now because they're kind of losing the fights, and when Axe picks up the blink, they're gonna be so scared. They can get blown up pretty damn fast. Hopefully, they will pick up a Necro and maybe they can get some smoke gangs going and maybe kill some core heroes on Newbee.
On the flip side of the coin, for Energy Pacemaker, they are getting some good farm on the Beastmaster. He's going to have his Necro book at a similar time to when the Axe has his Blink, just a little bit short after, but think of that Axe Blink dagger, he has it in just one creep away, and with it, they can defend this tier 2 feasibly. The Radiant Observer Ward is placed right next to his sentry, although Newbee.Y can't deward that now. At the very least, they know where the vision is. Piao caught out, they're going to focus down the line with the war, but it's zipping from the Storm Spirit, catching out the Dazzle, Winter Wyvern, turn around onto SS with follow-up damage B there. The Requiem's on round, but ends up being cancelled by the Shadow Fiend. No real commitment from either side, just some traded nukes.
Yeah, it was really weird. They just used some spells and nothing really happened. Storm Spirit took some damage, but he has his soul boosted, so he's quite tanky, already up to 1300 HP.
They use relocate for Newbee.Y, so they're not going to have that for the next engagement, but I will be able to sustain them to a point where they can feasibly look to defend this tier 2, and if not defend it, they can deny it. It's already down in deny range, and Energy Pacemaker aren't committing now, so if they just kill that off, that's some gold, and time wasted by Energy Pacemaker. They're still constricting the map of Newbee.Y. Their tier 2 in top and mid has fallen, so that is a little bit of a blow, but I think Newbee.Y are going to be happy that they've bought themselves a little bit more time. Storm Spirit's going to have his Bloodstone soon.
Yeah, I wonder what the EP is gonna do now. They've taken most towers, only one outer tower remaining, and now it's gonna be looking at Roche. This is really risky. There's a great smoke here from Newbee.Y.
And with the blink in the Axe, this could go very, very poorly for them. The Storm Spirit's going to walk around the side. Do they actually not see the Storm? Blink in. Call, I'm lagging super, super hard, but maybe we still be able to see how this fight goes down?
Roar on Storm Spirit. He goes down very fast, and now X is running away from the... And EP are just chasing them down, and it doesn't look like they will get in trades. EP Fan goes down, doesn't manage to armor toggle, and Leshak actually picks up 2 kill. Very close. Fan actually armor toggling that. Could have survived, possibly. And Newbee.Y are just retreating, losing 3 heroes and only getting 2.
Sorry about that, PowerPoint Dota. Yeah, that looked like it worked out reasonably well for Energy Pacemaker. It would have been even better if Huskar was able to survive, but he still gets a double kill before that. Good news on trade for the Newbee.Y side is that Leshak gets a couple of kills, and one of those was counted on his Bloodstone. But yeah, let me go ahead and try for reconnect. I have no idea why the connection is being so unstable right now. It was absolutely fine for the first 3 games.
And it looks like EP will be able to take down the Roche, unless Storm Spirit can make a snipe, but it's not even gonna try. And an Aegis to Shadow Fiend, who is less than 1k gold away from the BKB, which is gonna be devastating, I think, for Newbee.Y. With Huskar being quite tanky and then BKB on Shadowfiend, it's gonna be very hard.
It looks like I'm back. A little bit of packet loss, but hopefully it's not too bad. It's at least better than what we saw a second ago. So, yeah, the game's going to slow down a little bit. And it looks like Energy Pacemaker want to group up for a smoke. They're clumped as 5, and I think that was delivered to the Dazzle. They're going to go for it. Scouting with the Hawk. If they can catch the Leshrac here, that would be wonderful for them. And Leshrac is currently stacking up the Ancients.
Yeah. Smoke Gank, Beastmaster in the front line. He has the Hawk scouting. Will he get IO here?
With the Roar, Melody Lover's caught out. There's no hope for the IO. He's ripped apart. That could have gone worse for Newbee.Y. At the very least, it was the IO for a 5-man smoke rotation where they're getting farm in top as well as in their woods.
Yeah, they have to split push now. They can't fight against EP Aegis as well as the pushing potential that is there with Shadowfiend, Beast and Huskar doing pretty much damage, pretty high damage together on the towers. But they might be able to trade 2 towers for 1 here, Newbee.Y.
Top lane, tier 1 tower is going to be pressured a little bit, but the actual tower damage applied by the Axe and Lion is hardly there at all, and no. With the Splinter Blast thrown out, it's going to be dropped pretty low. If that was on the Lion, things would have gotten interesting, but the tier 2 has since fallen for Energy Pacemaker, and the only question now is, when will they be comfortable enough going for a high ground push?
I wonder if they want to wait for Necro 3 before they start looking at high ground, but the Aegis will be out by then, so it's hard to say how they'll play this. I think they should try and make a smoke gank and then try and go high ground there with a Necro 2 soon. It's gonna be good enough, and they have a lot of damage with Shadowfiend already doing quite a lot in right click, and Necrobook just together with the Inner Beast is gonna do a ton of damage.
Another item that they might consider waiting for is Huskar. Seems like he's going to go for a Black King bar, but Newbee.Y also find themselves a Blink Dagger on the Lion. So unless they get that pick off, I don't think going high ground is a good choice since they have to push into a Blink Call and a Blink Lion initiation. It's going to be very difficult.
It's very scary against Stormsplit as well. He's great at defending high ground. He can do the ball lightning into TP to destroy the wave and do a lot of damage to the backlines. The supports take a lot of damage from that if it hits, and also he doesn't have gold right now, but buyback potential for Stormsplit is amazing when you're defending high ground.
Yeah, for sure, and well, the game's slowed down a bit as Energy Pacemaker seem to be waiting for that next round of items. You have a Necrobook 2 flying out to the Beastmaster, so that might be good enough for an attempt, but Fan is still waiting for his Black King bar. It seems like they'll just be happy that they got Aegis and the tier 2 towers after the fact. They have 2 minutes available, so if they go right now, maybe they can try, but as we've kind of already covered, this is a risky proposition.
This is a really awkward timing for EP, but they want to force it. They would normally want to wait for the fan BKB, but they won't get the BKB and have Aegis at the same time, so they want to have all chicken on the front lines, just taking the towers as much as possible, and Huskar just waiting until Newbee.Y initiate. I don't think it's going to go high ground here on the Huskar.
Fan is just going to sit on the low ground. They'll sustain up Old Chicken with the Inner Vit as well as with Arcane Boots. He can keep on spamming pretty much to his heart's content. And for the second life, Shadowfiend has a 10-second BKB. BKB Requiem could be very interesting. 2-3 tower. Going to take some significant damage. Split Earth going to miss. And the siege will continue down to half damage. The tower is dropping low. No initiation yet coming out from the Newbee.Y side. It looks like they'll get a tier 1 tower up in top by the Storm Spirit. He has a TP and can join the fray, but Energy Pacemaker are getting more ground than I honestly thought they would.
Yeah, it was a lot of damage actually, but they have to fall back now. I don't think they're gonna put the pressure. Aegis is disappearing in like 30 seconds, I think, and the Storm Spirit is doing a lot of damage to the tower.
Zip away by the Storm Spirit, he'll be just fine. But that's the window that Energy Pacemaker wanted to hit that has been closed. Even though they don't get high ground with it. Oh, looking for the Beastmaster. They won't be able to find him, but instead, the other supports, they get a Split Earth to connect onto 2 with the Finger of Death. Winter Wyvern will die, and now Lay soon to follow. It wasn't what they wanted, per se, but they'll take anything they get. That's a very important kill, especially since Leshrac was involved. He gets 2 Bloodstone charges.
Amazing outspec from the Lion, hitting both, and then just getting both kills. That could have been even worse. Beastmaster was close to dying as well, but great play from Newbee.Y. Killing 2 supports here means quite a lot. You gain some time, also get some gold. Maybe you can pick up some more core items, especially on Stormsplit. Could use an item, or also having money for buyback means a lot for him. And just a great, really kept almost half blind. They had vision when they went to the jungle, but they didn't see where they were exactly.
Yeah, just good game sense coming out from them, and Newbee.Y will find a tier 1 tower. That's actually going to tip the scales into their favor in both net worth, and they already had an experience lead, even though Energy Pacemaker the one to get the Aegis and all of the tier 2 towers. At this point, I think Newbee.Y can pretty much count the tier 2s that are on the map as money in the bank, and since they're evened out, that's really good for their situation this game. Huskar with the BKB is terrifying, but I think fans' window is very quickly closing. If this game goes like 10 minutes more, the Huskar is going to get jumped every fight, either by Blink Hex or by Blink Call or a Storm Spirit, and he won't be able to do much of anything.
Yeah, this game is gonna be pretty in the air. Beastmaster versus Axe Initiation can really determine this game. It's aggressive move from EP now. They have some
Courier
vision.
Snipe with a Haste Rune. Shadowfiend will secure that one, a pretty important courier, and the call's going to miss onto the Frog. The Frog's chasing forward at the enemy team. They'll catch a couple of hits onto the Axe, but with the Eye, he's going to survive. Earth Spike also connecting onto Old Chicken. That's the aggression down, but what was actually flying out in that courier? That was the Perseverance for the Storm Spirit. Going Lincolns, it seems, against the Beastmaster, a good item, but it is going to be delayed maybe a little bit.
Yeah, another Haste Rune on Old Chicken. It's every time he has one. It's pretty amazing. But Beastmaster almost necro free. Storm Spirit, he had something delivering from the courier, but I didn't manage to catch what he had. A Perseverance there. Not sure what he's gonna go with it. I guess it's Lincoln's.
It kind of has to be. What are the other options? Battle Fury Refresher?
Could be a Lotus Orb. I don't think so though.
But yeah, I think Lincoln's is the best option. Against the Beastmaster Initiation and the Winter Wyvern, those are the only things that he really has to fear.
Yeah, it's an okay. In general, Lincoln's is a bit weird. It kind of can, if you trust your Lincolns too much, you can kind of, if someone is pretty fast using something, and then Beastmaster is also fast with his ultimate, you can die pretty fast. Also, Winter's Curse is really good against Storm Spirit, and that might be even a bigger reason why he goes for the Lincolns.
For sure. But Winter Wyvern does come built in with a way to pop that Lincolns. The Splinter Blast is actually a great way to go about doing that, although it is an instant... Oh, Hex over onto Old Chicken, trying to disengage. Looks like they'll be completely safe on both sides, although this entire rotation has been spotted out by a Hawk coming out from the Beastmaster. They're going to keep eyeballs on the Storm in line.
Yeah, Newbee.Y playing pretty damn good actually, forcing EP to run around and a lot of those things, and they're kind of getting back into this game, and the next Roche is gonna decide a lot, I think.
Yeah. As far as the metrics are concerned, there's not an advantage at all for Energy Pacemaker and net worth, and experience is stalled out at the 5,000 advantage for Newbee.Y's side. Mostly the difference there being the supports. If you take a look at the Wyvern and the Dazzle, they're level 8 and 9 compared to a level 11 Lion and a level 10 IO. The level 11 on Lion means quite a lot, and these supports, the Dazzle and the Wyvern, really would like to have that same level experience. But they've been grouping up a lot, and that's the cost that they have to pay.
Yeah, and Sanchasha again on Old Chicken, really liking... the Chinese really like the Sanchasha on Shadowfiend. And it's gonna go for it again. I think it's the exact same build we saw earlier.
It's the standard build, just in general. Treads, Mech, BKB, Sanjin Yasha. It's what you're going to see 9 times out of 10 in these Chinese games.
Smoke up, free hero smoke from EP, Beastmaster on the front lines. This could be a big kill if they manage to find the correct hero. I don't think Access buyback. If they find him, it's gonna be really bad for Newbee.Y.
Do they have the vision of the Axe right now? They do with the Hawk. They find him around the corner, but he blinks away. Very fast reaction coming out from him. I don't think there was a dire word that spawned that. Oh, they cancel a TP with a roar. And now Iwi is going to be jumped. That is going to be the Axe down, as you said, with no buyback and no direct help. He'll try to go for the Culling Blade, but Huskar isn't going to toggle or anything of the sort. Now with the very balanced Cold Embrace, they'll be able to keep him at fit fighting shape. So this is a window that Energy Pacemaker have found, but it's a pretty small one. Since the Storm Spirit and the Lion have been pushing out top lane, they won't be able to go for a high ground push.
Yeah, they could... they're not gonna go for Roche. I think they should have, but I don't think they can kill the Storm Spirit there. He's just gonna Lightning Bolt TP, yeah. They had 40 seconds, Axe dead. They could probably have gone for the Roshan there, but they wanted to defend the top lane, and that was really a good play from Newbee.Y. As soon as Axe died, they started putting pressure on all lanes, just so that EP would be hesitant to go for the Roche.
could be wiped by the Leshrac. He's also going to keep himself safe, but now Energy Pacemaker are going to go into the Roche Pit. This is a great place for Newbee.Y to fight, but the good news for Energy Pacemaker is that they have good vision around the pit because of the Beastmaster Hawk. So if Newbee.Y do try to go for this contention, they will know about it, and right now it doesn't seem like they're interested or that they know.
No Lincolns yet on the Storm Spirit either, so he can't really go for the jump because there's the Winter's Curse to instantly lock him down. Otherwise he maybe would have dared to go for it, even though EP has good vision.
Well, that's your Aegis going to be picked up by the Energy Pacemaker. Aside with double life on Old Chicken, the high ground push becomes a lot easier for them. And let's see if they can pull this one through. The situation still stands that Newbee.Y's initiation is probably a little bit better, and on high ground this could get scary for them, but they're taking this really slow. It's giving Newbee.Y time to push out these lanes.
Yeah, they have I think they're gonna sacrifice this tier 2 tower and go for the high ground push. Leshrac can go high ground himself though. This is gonna be a hard decision for EP. What they're gonna do? They're gonna play it safe. It looks like they just wanna defend.
It's a big win for Energy Pacemaker, for Newbee.Y. They get a tier 2 tower and they repel the push, even though Energy Pacemaker have Aegis. And, well, can Energy Pacemaker get anything on the retreat? Winter's Curse catches out IOE, again going to try to TP out. They roar, stacked with the Winter's Curse, but it doesn't matter. Oh, maybe it does. Zippin, 5400 is caught out. TP attempt by SS. There's nothing to cancel that, but, oh no, they'll kill the Necro Book, and that's going to be the death of Axe. And the backlines, the Shadow Fiend is going high ground by himself with a little bit of help from the Huskar and Dazzle. They'll kill off one, and now Energy Pacemaker have a big opportunity.
Yeah, that was a really good play from EP. They split perfectly with Winter Wyvern and Beastmaster tipping home, so they have the strong heroes in the fight and the Picos hero defending base.
Zippin, they'll catch out Old Chicken inside the Split Earth, but he still has Aegis, and Fan is going to town. Ghost Scepter will keep the Leshrac alive for a little while longer, but after a Requiem raise, that'll be the death of him. And with the Shadow Fiend coming back up, things could get scary. They'll focus him down, Finger Death and Old Chicken. The Shadow Fiend will lose his life, and the Huskar isn't ready to jump in yet. They don't have the required lockdown to kill off the Storm Spirit, and it looks like Newbee.Y have successfully defended their high ground.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for EP. The Grave was 2 seconds away, even less, I think 1 second away when Shadow Fiend died. He would probably gone down either way, but they might have gotten a trade. Oh, relocate aggressively.
Well, maybe they can catch something out. It's with the Axe and the IO. Blink Call going to miss, but they'll get slow onto the Beastmaster, and Beastmaster walks into 4. It'll secure the retreat of the rest of the teammates, but relocate for a kill. Newbee.Y will be happy with what they've gotten.
I think Beast was pretty happy that he managed to pick up Blink before it died. It was, if he had not managed that, it would have delayed it by quite a long time.
Didn't we see that from the Rubik last game as well, where he walks into everybody, buys his Blink first, and then dies?
Yeah, he snipes the kill, Rubik last game, and then buys the Blink and dies immediately. And the Blink is really big for EP. It means they have a long range initiation. They lack that, and they had to rely on Hawk just walking into enemy. Now they can actually surprise them. They can't go for Storm Spirit though because of the Lincolns. They don't have anything to prop the Lincoln and then use the Roar, unless Winter Wyvern is very close, which is gonna be hard for him.
Yeah, honestly, the Beastmaster would be very, or he'd like to have something like a Yule's or maybe even a Scythe to pop that Lincoln's himself, but that's not going to come out for a while. Maybe a Force Staff would also be a good pickup.
Or they can do this and buy Blink on Winter Wyvern, so both can go at the same time. This is, I wasn't expecting this, but it's a pretty good decision. Blink on Winter Wyvern is in general a pretty good item.
Well, group up coming out from the Radiant side. Looks like they're interested in smoking. They will do just that with everybody at the ready. They have Roar, they have Winter's Curse, they have all of their ultimates up and ready to go. Looking for Leshrac maybe. Leshrac has been farming over in his Ancients, but he has an Invis Rune, not the easiest of kills either. Fairly tanky, and they have a relocate. So best case scenario for Energy Pacemaker, this is 5v3, but still a fight that they're willing to take. Newbee.Y looks like they smell something's up. They're going to back into the base and we'll be fine.
Yeah, really important that they don't get picked up here. If Leshrac had died there, it could have been pretty damn bad. I think they would have lost Rax because he doesn't have buyback.
Yeah, now the push is going to continue. Energy Pacemaker, they don't have an Aegis for this time around, but they do have a lot of tank up for the Shadow Fiend, and if they can find a good initiation with the War or the Winter's Curse, that's really what changes things. this time around. If they didn't have the blink on the Winter Wyvern, I'd be tempted to say that they wouldn't go for this play.
This is a risky play from EP, to be honest. They have the... That's what made to boost them up though. So they're gonna go for this. They can take down the target easily.
It's going to be Hex on the fan, but the Leshrac is already so very low. Forced to be sustained up by the Io. Blinken, Lion, Earth Spike connects onto Old Chicken. Follow-up from the Split Earth as well as the call is there, but the damage doesn't come through. They'll be able to cold embrace the Shadow Fiend, and he's going to be fine. The Storm Spirit tries to jump in the backlines, but as Lincoln's been popped, he's roared up. The Requiem connects, and the Storm Spirit's down with no buyback, but he does respawn in 20 seconds. At least there's that, but the Axe is going to go down, and he bought out for a Staff of Wizardry. There's going to be a double stun into Old Chicken with Finger of Death, but it's still not enough. This Winter Wyvern's working overtime. 5400 will save his Shadow Fiend and survive. Huskar on low HP, but that's exactly how he likes it when he's going for these pushes. The melee barracks is going to be under heavy siege. SCC is there, but it's a 2 versus 5 situation because of the mad amount of Sane that Energy Pacemaker have. He'll throw a Lightning Storm, but Leshrac, I think he's way too out in front. They could probably just jump, and Fan is in the corner. They'll Earth Spike up Fan. The Storm Spirit's joining the fray, going under the Beastmaster. The Shadow Fiend is still standing his ground, but not for much longer. Will end up dying, and Lei will also bite the bullet. Oscar's fighting against 2, might be able to kill off this Storm Spirit with no mana to Ball Lightning, dodge that burn. That's a dead SS. Unless Io can save him, he'll be able to zip a little bit further away, and he barely survives, and Winter Wyvern will die. A big turn of events for Newbee.Y. I honestly thought that the melee barracks would go down and Energy Pacemaker would succeed in the high ground push, but the Storm Spirit secondary initiation was perfect.
Yeah, I was really scared for EP when they went for that. When Storm was spawning, he could easily do a long range jump and kill everyone on the backlines and just take Huskar down lost, which is what he did. And poor focusing, actually relocate aggressively. They're gonna go for Rex here. This is a great move from Newbee.Y.
Yeah, and yeah, with the maxed out Diabolic Edict, Tier 3 tower is going to fall very quickly after the glyph expires, and look at how many range creeps they have working for him. That's 4. They forced the Shadow Fiend buyback. He's TPing back in. He'll be able to clear up the creep wave, but Newbee.Y get the majority of that Tier 3 tower for nothing more committed than a relocate and a Shadow Fiend buyback. That's huge.
Yeah, and Storm Spirit's going for Mjolnir. It's pretty uncommon, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure if... I don't know,
there's some people who actually like it. I think I've seen S4 done it a few times. Not sure if it's in officials though. It's an okay item, to be honest, on Storm. Yeah. It gives you some interesting damage potential, but in general it's not viewed as a good item.
The attack speed is really nice to be able to drop all of your overload charges quickly, and your wave clear is very significant, but it comes at the cost of survivability and lockdown for the Storm Spirit. It makes it a lot harder for him to go into the backlines and assassinate the Dazzle and the Winter Wyvern before they're able to get off their defensive spells. I personally would have liked to see a Scythe better, but it's far from the worst item he could have gotten.
Yeah, it's pretty weird though against the Huskar, since it's medic damage. It doesn't isn't efficient against Huskar. That's like the most weird part about it, but some people really like the Maelstrom and Mjolnir on Storm Spirit actually, and it's an okay item. I really like when it's seen. It's underestimated.
Yeah, we'll see how much it's going to be underestimated by Energy Pacemaker, how much of an impact it's going to have. But for now, we have a gem picked up by the Winter Wyvern. This is very important when used in tandem with the Beastmaster. They can get a lot of dewarding through, but Energy Pacemaker have lost pretty much all momentum. Relocate up top. They're going for that Tier 3. They'll get it. Melody Lovers, can they retreat? Winter's Curse is going to be dropped onto the Leshrac. The Io is very sustained at the moment, but pulled away into the Requiem, and it looks like SCC will also die. He's returning a decent chunk of damage, but that's not worth it for the Tier 3, losing 2 of those heroes freely. This is a big window for Energy Pacemaker. There's no buyback on that Lash.
Yeah, that's a really risky play from Newbee.Y. With no buyback on Leshrac, like you said, this couldn't be potential Rax, but he still has the Bloodstone charge pretty damn fast. Response. No initiation on Storm Spirit because they used everything on Leshrac and Wisp, but will he be able to get to the base before Leshrac spawns? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, Newbee.Y have done a good job at keeping these lanes pressured, so even when they get picked off, the potential for Energy Pacemaker to go for actual objectives is very limited for now. Double damage Storm Spirit's getting
Storm
scouted.
is low mana.
Yeah, this could get very scary for him. They don't have Winter's Curse, they don't have Roar. He'll be able to zip TP, and that will succeed. No way for them to cancel that. Storm survives.
Yeah, they had no stuns on him, so he couldn't. He was pretty safe there. He knew that both the Winter's Curse and Roar was used, so he didn't feel threatened at all, even though it was pretty low mana. But those deaths from Newbee.Y didn't really matter that much. Of course, you don't want to feed away gold, but you didn't get punished. You pretty much only lost Bloodstone charges on Leshrac and nothing else.
Yeah, losing Bloodstone charges and a little bit of gold for a tier 3 tower, it works out for them. I was a little bit concerned if Energy Pacemaker would be able to get some sort of objective themselves, but for now, this game is really even. In fact, at 36 minutes in, it's zeroed out in the net worth chart.
Yeah, it's really even. Zero goal, zero net, chain difference in between the teams, and it's really close. Actually, it's Newbee.Y are losing fights, but EP are overextending a bit, and Newbee.Y are split pushing very well, pushing this top lane a lot. But now it's gonna be a big fight. It looks like if Newbee.Y
blink in. Looking for the Winter's Curse, they can't find the vision onto the Leshrac. Fan will keep on chasing forward with an Assault Cuirass. This Huskar is very tanky, but he's getting a little far away from the rest of his team. Newbee.Y, this isn't going to be a fight at all. They're going to cleanly disengage. It looks scary there for a second if they could catch anybody on the retreat, but it's a successful push. Newbee Youth draw a reaction. Now can go back to farming their woods and the other lanes.
Yeah, I wonder what Huskar's gonna buy next. He's maybe buying right now. Yeah, he's gonna go for the Satanic that's next, which is very standard.
Yeah, after the Satanic, the item that I'd love to see from the Huskar, I'm not sure if we will. Abyssal Blade could be really good this game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's an okay item. Always having Abyssal Blade. Like it's a bit weird though, because you can't kill Stormspeed with it because he has the Lincolns, which is the
Lincolns procs at the end of Huskar jump, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's
pretty hard. He can zip out.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's not. I wonder if he's gonna go Blink. Huskar late game with Blink is pretty good actually. You can go pretty deep since you're amazingly tanky with this much HP and also armor. And a free rogue jump for EP. This might result in a high ground push with cheese as well.
Yeah, as if Huskar wasn't tanky enough already. Energy Pacemaker, this is the third time that they've found themselves in a situation where they could in theory go for high ground, but if the pass is any indicator, Newbee Youth are doing quite a good job at keeping their lanes out, and the initiations have been on point. What's the buyback status for both of these teams at the moment? The only hero in this game to have buyback is Storm Spirit. Leshrac is about to get his off of cooldown. He should have enough gold for it too, but Energy Pacemaker, if they lose a significant fight, things could get turned around very easily by Newbee.
Yeah, and EPR started to get some aura goings with the AC finished quite some time ago on Huskar, and also Bismosing having Vladimir soon. It's gonna be an advantage that EP has, and Newbee.Y can't really get. They can't really buy AC or Vladimirs on any of their heroes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The only hero that could in theory go for items like that, or would have slots, like Io could go for a Vlad's, but this Io is so far behind at the moment, sitting on Buckler Bottle Earn at 40 minutes into the game.
Yeah, the Buckler is pretty sad to see. Yeah, I wonder if he's even planning to go mech anymore. It's pretty non... It's not really any value in it anymore.
The Shadow Fiend just sold his mech, so having the double mech heal from the
Io Lion
is,
on top. Do they have any initiation?
Blink Winter's Curse, and that's a dead line. Nothing that Piao can do about it. Packs up 5,400, but that's very aggressive for a line to be out that far without having appropriate vision. If you take a look at the wards, there are none because the gem picked up, but bottom lane, relocate onto Fan. He's gonna man fight up against the Axe. Leshrac is there, and once his BKB wears off, maybe they can even kill him off. He has a cheese though. Yeah, it's very difficult. He'll jump forward to the Leshrac. Ghost Scepter will stop them going for that kill, and relocate out will keep them safe. Although Axe is left mostly alone, he'll get a call, looking for the TP. Do they have a ward? Do they have a way to cancel it? The ward wasn't cast. I think he could have.
He could have for sure. He messed that up. I'm not sure what he was thinking. But he really should have rolled that. That was a free kill on a core hero that could have probably resulted in a high ground push because there was no buyback on Axe. And Cheese plus Aegis, 4 versus 5. It would have been really good for EP.
Well, even without that Axe pickoff, they still have Aegis, they still have Cheese, so in theory they're going up against 6.5 lives for the Energy Pacemaker side. Old Chicken's going to eat the combo from Lesh, but this Shadow Fiend's very tanky. Now jump in, the Blink and the Impale and the Finger of Death all catch him out, but with the heal, Old Chicken is not going to go down. Cooling Blade way too late. Now a call onto Iowi. Fan is going into the backlines. He's Shallow Grave. but that was not necessary. It doesn't matter because of the Requiem and the damage onto those two heroes. With it, that's at least one set of barracks, but look at top lane. Storm Spirit's going for a barracks as well. With that Mjolnir damage going to town, they're going to relocate, and they're going to trade evenly with barracks at the moment. Tier 3 tower is falling in mid. The Huskers' attack speed is really starting to stack, and this is a 1 for 2 barracks trade, as the Storm Spirit and Lesh are going to keep on going for it. Axe buys back. Can he delay this? Can he stop them from getting megas?
I think they have to defend this 5-man. Thanks to taking Rex, X got enough gold for buybacks.
Jump in, the Winter's Curse on the SAC. The Leshrac is not dropping low. His fan is still fighting up against the Axe. After buying back, the Axe tries for a Coaling Blade, but that Huskar's on max HP. Doesn't matter, the Axe dieback means that this is probably all but over, but 5,400, as well as the Beastmaster, will die. Hex onto Old Chicken. Old Chicken going to lose his Aegis now. Fan is standing alone, trying to go for Piao. He's still pretty darn tanky, but with no lifesteal and no sustain outside of Inner Vit, he's still dropping. He'll be able to kill off the Storm Spirit of all things, and wow. Huskar, jump in, buyback from the Storm Spirit, trying to go for Old Chicken. With the Split Earth connecting, they should be able to kill this Shadow Fiend. Split Earth will land. Follow up, they'll blow up the Shadow Fiend, but it's a costly defense from Newbee.Y. Look at the bottom lane, too. All of the creeps are going for the tier 4s. Can they kill off Fan? This is a dangerous proposition, but they might be able to do it with the Diebog Edict going
I think
to
he's
work.
gonna get a kill.
This is a dead Storm Spirit if he's not careful. 7 stacks of that fire, and Leshrac also dropping. Fan just can't be stopped from the high ground. He's going to jump forward, dodging the Split Earth. Now he kills off the Storm. A dieback for Storm Spirit, and Fan will live. 7,500 gold in the Huskar after that.
Didn't even need lifesteal there. If he had Satanic there, that would have not even been close. And he got Satanic now and 4k gold, almost 5k gold. I think the Newbee.Y has to pull a miracle here to win.
Yeah, it's very scary. The Silver Linings is going to melee barracks up towards top lane, so they're going to have an advantage when it comes to the creeps pushing in top, but their base is in shambles. The full lane and bottom and mid, they need some better way to clear out these creeps. The Storm Spirit Mjolnir looks a lot better now, as it'll help the Storm Spirit deal with those super creeps, but the Storm Spirit alone can't do it.
Yeah, that was disgusting by Huskar. Just both were full HP. He was half when they started, he just took down, but I think he was less than half when they started, he just took down both. Without lifesteal, that was sick. And only 2 Rex, only top lane of Rex remaining, not even a tower defending them. And this is looking very grim for Newbee.Y.
Energy Pacemaker looking to close out this 2-game series 2-0. You have a Satanic now for the Shadow Fiend. These cores are ridiculously hard to bring down. 3,200 HP with Satanic on the Shadow Fiend, and Huskar's he's fat.
Yeah, trying to base phase against the Beastmaster and against AC Bloods, also Shadow Fiend. Was a desperate play, and it didn't work out when you're young, and they paid a hefty price, buying back several heroes, I think, also dying with them.
Yeah, buyback on the Lion Axe, the Storm Spirit, and yeah, that's everybody that was forced suspended. The good news is Leshrac is going to have the buyback available for this next fight, but Huskar, he's going to go for a Mjolnir, and he just almost straight up buys it.
Yeah, he's like, if you do it, I can do it. This is the final push for EP. Newbee has to pull a miracle to win, and I have trouble seeing them pulling this off.
Well, with the Necrobooks on the ground, everybody's going to be hitting so fast. Leshrac is there, but the barracks aren't going to survive, even if they just ignore the Lesh. Old Chicken will hit by a Split Earth and the Call. Glimmercape's going to be reduced in effectiveness, but the Axe will go down just as quickly. Cold Embrace onto the Beastmaster will keep him alive, and the Storm Spirit just can't kill off any of these heroes alone. Now that they bring in the Lesh, they'll lose the one hero, but it just doesn't matter. They'll go for the Storm Spirit. This Huskar is dishing. Look at that Storm Spirit's HP pool drop, and with it, that's mega creeps and should be game.
Hex on Dazzle, just not even a close fight so far, only one death, and the Huskar is not even gonna be close to going down with Satanic activated now.
Jumping into the Leshrac. Leshrac is going to die. At the very least, Storm Spirit blows up one and might be able to get 5,400, but not even that. That's a 5-man wipe, and good game coming up from Newbee.Y. A similar game to game number 1 in the sense that it was even up until the point where Energy Pacemaker find one fight into their favor, and from there on out, they kind of just outclassed the enemy. But this game was a lot closer, I think. It was entertaining to watch. The issue, I think, for me was that the Axe just never found any successful jumps.
Yeah, I agree. The Axe wasn't successful enough, and the Huskar pick was just a pure hard counter to almost everything Newbee.Y had, and I don't think they had a chance after Energy Pacemaker got a lead, and unless they threw it, I don't think Newbee.Y had a shot at winning this game.
NG Pacemaker going to secure their slot in the 3rd position inside the group stage of the Douyu Dota TV Cup. I'm GrandisV, joined by Kefka. You can find us at Twitter under GrandisV and Kefka Dota if you go ahead and give us a search. And we cast here on HeflaTV. If you follow us on Twitter and Facebook under those names, we'll keep you updated with when we're going live and with what tournaments we're casting. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with some more games in about 2 hours, but your cast is going to change. It's going to be Mike Loris bringing you those games. So hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in, and see you later.
Yeah, thanks.